Dear students, we're starting this month, and the goal is every single month to really have a few moments where we can update our students all over the world with the exciting things that are happening in the center. You know, often when I have the opportunity to speak to different students when I visit the centers, I share some of the exciting new ideas and new things that are happening in the center, and they often say, you know, we really want to hear more about this. And you know, my mother often says that one of the things the center is really good at is keeping secret a lot of the good work that we do. So it's my hope that once a month at least we'll have the opportunity to share with you, our students, our supporters, without whom really we couldn't do all of this work, what is happening in the center and the things that you're really helping manifest. So, you know, as we look at where the center is and more importantly where it's going, you know, most of us know this history of the center. For 40 years, starting from just my parents in the United States and Israel, and the Center Planner has grown. You know, over the past year, we taught Kabbalah in 85 cities all over the world. But when I think about the center, and when we think about the center and where it can go, I really feel, and sometimes I say this number and it scares people, but I think it's a very exciting understanding. B'ezrat Hashem, when we were going to look back at the center from this year forward, we're going to realize that everything that we've done up until now is really just about 3% of our potential. And as we think about the center, the thought is, okay, how do we really grow exponentially? This past few months, I've been going to the different centers. We're doing a training and with all of our current teachers. And one of the thoughts that really was the foundation for this is really that question. Not just how do we continue to grow, but how do we grow exponentially? Because the purpose of the center, as most of us know, is not just to be a growing organization that teaches Kabbalah. The purpose of the center is to be at the forefront of revealing the light and wisdom of Kabbalah and the light of the Creator into this world, so that we can come to what's called the Gemara Tikkun, the end of the correction. It's called Bila Mavet Lanetzach, removal of death from this world. And in order for that to happen, we really have to find the ways for exponential growth. So there's a few things that we did in 2016 and continuing into 2017. The purpose behind it is really to build a foundation so the center can really become and get to that, I don't know if we'll ever be at 100%, but exponential growth from where we are. So some of you might know, and I've shared this in different forums with students and with Chevra, but certainly having a professional foundation in the center is something that really hasn't, it's crazy. You know, I often speak to people, it's kind of crazy that for 40 years, yes, we've had a few professionals here and there, but never really a strong team. And that's one thing that we're doing. As I said, we began in 2016. We have a new chief operating officer, a new chief financial officer, a new chief technology officer, a new chief marketing officer. And again, I have to say personally, having been working with some of these new professionals in the past few months, we've been very blessed to find the right people. Blessed to find people who are working without ego. We're blessed to be working with people who their focus really is how do we elevate the center, how do we make it better and better. So we began that process. It'll continue into 2017, but again, the thought behind bringing all of these professionals is really to create the foundation that the center can continue to grow, but more importantly, to grow exponentially. The other thing which we've been doing in the past few months, as I mentioned, is, you know, Blanera, we have so many teachers all over the world, and one of the things that's important and in this training, as we called it, but really the real focus was to bring all the teachers to the same consciousness. We all have the same general consciousness, but all working together in unity. And I have to say that one of the things that I experienced in going, we did a training in Tel Aviv, we did a training in Boca Raton, we did a training in New York, we did a training in Los Angeles. The excitement that we as teachers in the center feel maybe more unified than we've ever felt in where the center is going and the work that we're doing. And when we spoke amongst the teachers, one of the things that was clear that really the power of unity, having all the teachers on the same page, having all the teachers unified in direction, in work, that is one of our greatest secrets towards exponential growth, and therefore was a real focus within the trainings. But more importantly, and this is the reason I think it's so important to share this with our students, what's going to enable the center to grow exponentially? Yes, as we mentioned, is professional management and other changes that are occurring within the center. But really at the core is this awakening of unity, certainly amongst all the teachers, but as important amongst the students. And I have to share with you that I was so excited after going through the different centers and different trainings and awakening this consciousness. One of the Chevra, Chaim Cohen from the Miami Center, shared with me something that the Rav shared many years ago when we had a Chevra retreat many years ago. And the Rav said the same thing. And it's always exciting for me when I teach something or share something, and then somebody shows me or reminds me or points out that it's something that the Rav said. And that really is at the core of what is going to bring the center to exponential growth. That unity amongst the teachers, that unity amongst the Chevra, that unity amongst our students. So as I said, one of the exciting process that we're just beginning is this training, and that we're doing amongst the teachers, the Chevra. But as I said there in the trainings, one of the things that we have to do is create the foundation upon which we can bring hundreds and eventually thousands of new teachers into the center. So there is a great focus over in the past year, but leading into this next year, of really creating the training processes and the ability to really bring in and elevate all of our current teachers, but more importantly, create the foundation for hundreds and eventually thousands of new teachers. Teacher training and the development of that training is a very important focus for the center this year and certainly into the future. The other thing which I think some of you have heard about, which for me is very important, we know that the work of teaching to the students, but also making available to students the works of the Kabbalists, which have, of course, not just tremendous light, but tremendous wisdom. So some of you might know, and we mentioned this in Rosh Hashanah, but B'ezrat Hashem, this year will be the first year that we are going to publish the writings of the Ari, beginning to publish the writings of the Ari in English. We have many people all over the world really working on the translation of different books of the Ari, and I know that besides the fact that as students you're going to be able to study the Ari, the fact that we're bringing it to the English language, really in totality, eventually for the first time in history, will bring great light into this world. We're also working on what we call the Rav's Legacy Project, really bringing a place where all the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours of the Rav's videos, audios, teachings will be available, first of all, gathered in one central place, digitized so that we can have it forever, and also then being able to disseminate it to the world so that the light and the teachings of the Rav not only shine to those of us who studied with the Rav, but B'ezrat Hashem forever until the Gemara Tikkun, people will be able to continue to study from the Rav. So the Rav Legacy Project, another important project we began in 2016 and of course continuing into 2017. Another exciting element is new centers that we're opening. I think, again, some of you might know, B'ezrat Hashem, in this next year we will be opening new centers in Brooklyn and New York, in Washington, D.C. We have a new center in Toronto. B'ezrat Hashem, we will have a new center in Mexico City. Some of you might or might not know we already have three centers in Mexico City. B'ezrat Hashem, we're looking to have a fourth location. And personally, I'm excited in B'ezrat Hashem around March. I'll be going to Hong Kong and to Manila for a new center that's opening in Hong Kong and a new center that's opening in Manila. Another very important area of focus in this next year is going to be South America. Many of you know we have many study groups and centers throughout Latin America, throughout South America, and we're creating with the teachers and with new staff, again, as we're doing everywhere, a real foundation of professional management so that we can really reach, B'ezrat Hashem, hundreds of thousands, eventually millions and millions of new students throughout Latin America. And all these things, and as I said, it's my desire once a month at least to be able to share with you some of the exciting things, because whatever we cover is only a little bit. Next year, I think next month, B'ezrat Hashem, I'll speak more about the exciting things that are happening around the development of Kabbalah University, development of Kabbalah.com. As we know, the way to reach millions and millions of people will be through the use of technology, and we're again, both with new professional management, but also new technologies that we're going to be using to be able to really reach millions of people. But what I think is most important, at least for me, as we speak about the exciting things that are happening, is not only the support. When I say support, I don't mean just by donations or just by time of you, the students, but in consciousness. If we speak about unity, if we speak about the ability of the center to elevate to its next level, one of my favorite quotes, and I know I share this a lot if you heard this before, it says that, what is the force of Mashiach? What is the force of the Gemara Tikkun? It says that the consciousness of Mashiach, the consciousness of those who are involved in the work of bringing this light into this world, it says, Magbiya et atzmo ve'et bnei doro, that a person who has the desire to elevate themselves, and through that elevation to elevate our generation, so that our world can be ready for the light of the Gemara Tikkun. And that's our work. And when we talk about support, when we talk about support in unity, that's what we need. We need as teachers, we need as chevra, and we need as students, as our growing global community of students who are dedicated to bring this light and wisdom to this world. As we look towards 2017 and forward, yes, we'll be changing, we'll be elevating ourselves. The center, B'ezrat Hashem, will be elevating itself. But as important is that each one of us, dedicated students, elevate ourselves in unity, elevate ourselves in support. There's no question in my mind, B'ezrat Hashem, with the assistance of the light of the Creator, that we're going to be able to accomplish great things in this year. But only with the help of the chevra, only with the help of the students, but maybe most importantly, only with the help of all of you, our students. And I'd like to end with a story, as I shared this, I think, when I was in Los Angeles a few weeks ago. When I was in Boca for the teacher training, Chaim Solomon, one of our teachers, shared with me a story of the Rav. And I always appreciate hearing new stories of the Rav that I hadn't heard before. And he told me the story that once, those of you know, about 20, 25 years ago, really the only center that kind of existed, there was Israel, but there was Queens. And the Rav, after the morning connections, would often stay much longer and continue his own connections. So one day, Chaim walks into the war room in Queens, where the Rav was sitting, finishing his connections. And the Rav says to Chaim, he says, you know, Chaim, the center is a thought in the Creator's mind. It exists. And the Rav, referring to himself, the Rav said, is a thought in the Creator's mind. It's always funny to me when the Rav would refer to himself like this, he said, if Philip Berg didn't feel that Rav thought in the Creator's mind, somebody else would. And what the Rav was saying, and it's a very important understanding for all of us who are teachers, for all of us who are chevra, for all of us who are students to understand. This place called the Kabbalah Centre is a thought in the Creator's mind. It is a elevated, light-filled place. B'ezrat Hashem, when we speak about elevating ourselves, when we speak about elevating the center, it's to fulfill that thought the Creator has about the center. But also each one of us as teachers, as chevra, as students, there's a thought about us in the Creator's mind. B'ezrat Hashem, as the center continues to grow and elevate, as teachers, as chevra, as students, that should be our thought as well. How do I perfect myself more? How do I elevate myself more, that I fulfill the thought the Creator has for me? And B'ezrat Hashem, as we all do that individually and collectively in unity, what the center, B'ezrat Hashem, will be able to manifest in this year and in coming years will be far beyond what we have done until now, because of the unity and the consciousness and the support of all of us in this work. Thank you.